We have a lot of trucks out there with drivers that are high on opium. This is one issue that we are yet to deal with in Nigeria. How do we go about it?
Well, again, behavioral. When you look at the issue of truck drivers, I like to say this to people in this part of the world. If you look at other developed parts of the world, the trucking industry is a largely professional one. There's a lot of control. In our own part of the world, the trucking industry
is privatized.
It is privately run, but the level of control that you have is not that much. So this is what I mean. You can simply just buy a truck, get anyone to be a driver, and the person starts running your trucking business for you. In other parts of the world, you find that the trucking industry is largely more organized. The requirements that drivers need to go through to become qualified truck drivers stringent.
I don't think there's any particular training in Nigeria for truck drivers except that of the driving school that you go for. Is there any other training?
There is. According to the requirements of the Nigerian road traffic regulations, there are requirements for training and licensing depending on the kind of vehicle you want to drive. And we have the same for truck drivers.
And do they go about it, or do they boycott it?
Is it working the way it ought to work? I remember some years ago, I think it was one of these container incidents that happened around Ojolegba area, where it was discovered that the guy driving the truck didn't even have any form of driver's license.
Because, you know, I was going to say that even for the smallest of the car users, many people do not go to driving schools before they get their driver's license. And they are not even certified good road users before they get it. So how much more the big vehicles?
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to learning how to driving, many people, I was going to say, but I know I'm not a part of that field.
No, I'm not. Of course.
But many people in our part of the world learn driving in informal methods, right? Or a young child growing up, learning how to drive, picking up the father's car. And training to drive a car is much more than that. There is a lot of things that a person would be able to learn in a formal setting that you will not be able to learn in an informal setting. And I must say that the same thing also applies even to those who drive commercially. How many of our commercial bus drivers or truck drivers learn in a formal setting? Most truck drivers start as motorboys and then they graduate into becoming drivers themselves. So the behavioral component that they would learn, the behavioral component to safely driving a vehicle that you will learn from a driving school, you will not be able to learn it from just observing another person.